Hey, what's up, guys? So sadly, earlier this week, Michael Valentine has passed away. You guys probably know him as the creator of the Valentine I radar detectors. Now, Mike V was a legend in this industry, and my condolences to his family. He passed away at the age of 74 unexpectedly earlier this week, and I figured in this video I wanted to share a little bit about his story as well as the impact that he's had on me personally here in my journey here with radar detectors as well. Now, he first actually started creating radar detectors back in the 1970s, before I was born. So a lot of this is going to be before my time, and I'm not a historian, but he's done a lot of really cool stuff over the years, and I wanted to share some of the highlights. Now, back in the 1970s, Mike co-founded a company called Cincinnati Microwave. Now, the very first radar detector was released in the 70s as well, and that was the original Fuzzbuster. Now, shortly thereafter, Mike released his first radar detector, which was called the Escort. Now, these two were different detectors. The Escort actually had better performance because it utilized more advanced technology, but it was more expensive as well. Now, in 1979, Car and Driver magazine ran a test with a couple different radar detectors, and in that test, they found that the Escort radar detector that Mike had designed basically blew away the competition, and after that, sales started to skyrocket. And then over the years, the different companies, of course, continued to innovate. The Fuzzbuster was upgraded to the Fuzzbuster II. Cincinnati Microwave released their Passport radar detector, a much smaller radar detector. But when it comes to Cincinnati Microwave, Mike V and his co-founder, Jim Yeager, had a difference of opinion on how to go about moving forward with the company. You see, Jim actually wanted to have different radar detectors at different tiers and different price points, and he also wanted to sell his radar detectors to a variety of different distributors. Mike, on the other hand, just wanted to have one radar detector and just wanted to sell it direct. And ultimately, Jim wound up buying Mike's stake in the company, so Mike was no longer involved with Cincinnati Microwave. However, he wound up founding a new company called Valentine Research. And under Valentine Research, he created a new radar detector, which we know today as the Valentine I. Now, the Valentine I radar detector, this is the only detector that he would sell, and again, he would sell it only direct through his company. Now, this had a number of big key upgrades compared to, well, other radar detectors. Of course, it had the arrows that were built in here, which was a huge upgrade as a radar locator to let you know where the signals are coming from. He also has some patents for the way the radar detector scanning was done, allowing the detector to actually scan multiple different bands of police radar with one sweep of the local oscillator. So there were a lot of nice improvements here that help with not only arrows, but also performance, giving you improved response times, etc. And this detector might continue to develop over the years. There were different hardware upgrades and different software upgrades as well, kind of standing true to his idea of just wanting to have one radar detector that continues to be upgraded over time. Now, this is kind of, I guess, eventually like where I come into the picture. Now, I didn't actually get into radar detectors until around maybe 2012 or so. And the first two detectors that I picked up were the Escort 9500IX and the Valentine I Gen 1, or just the V1 at the time, right? And I found that I really preferred the V1 for several reasons. Number one, the performance was quite a bit better. The range, the response times, etc. Number two, you had the arrows here on the detector as well. And then number three, Mike also eventually added Bluetooth support here with his detectors, and then critically, unlike the competition, he also opened it up for third-party developers to start creating their own apps here for the V1 and extend the functionality. And around this time, we had the first V1 app for Android, which was YAV1, developed by Frankie on RDF. And I loved actually getting to be like super hands-on with the development and testing and learning, you know, like how should we actually implement the GPS lockouts? How should the algorithms be designed? Like actually really getting into the details and the weeds here was a lot of fun. You know, the engineer side and me really enjoyed getting to learn that aspect as well. And then the feeling of like getting to contribute to others of like, hey, I helped one little part to like make this available so other people can benefit as well. And getting to like, I guess this must have been similar to what Mike felt of like getting to create something that helps to benefit others is a really good feeling. I mean, that's a big reason of why I even do videos today is like, I love learning and I love sharing with you guys, and like ultimately we all get to benefit as a result, you know? And I definitely have Mike to thank with how he developed this, the features that he built, and how he opened it up to others, people like me and other third-party developers who want to like really create something that benefits people. And so this was a detector that really got me hooked when I get into radar detectors. It's been discontinued now in favor of the V1 Gen 2, which has a significant hardware upgrade and of course software upgrades as well. But like I still have my Gen 1. I will never sell it. This is a very special detector to me, holds a very special place in my heart, and I'm always going to hold on to my Gen 1 here, even though the new Gen 2 is out. And this I definitely consider to be one of the best radar detectors available on the market for its performance, of course, the arrows, I love the open API capabilities, etc. And so, yeah, this is kind of where things stand today. And actually, there was a firmware update that was released, 4.1035. I've done a video talking about that. And I'd actually been talking to Mike V about a week before he'd passed away, kind of going over some of the details about that latest firmware update. I felt really grateful that I've had a chance to like talk with him, and I've done an interview with him when this Gen 2 was first released. If you'd like to watch the interview of when we kind of chatted about the detector, kind of hear his thought process and ideas as far as like how he built this, why it was designed the way it was, that was a really great interview. I'll link to it. You guys can check it out. And I was actually thinking a couple weeks ago, like, I would love to interview him again. Like, there's not been any huge dramatic upgrades. It's been, you know, some progressive upgrades to like the software and stuff, but I guess unfortunately I'll no longer have that opportunity. But I'm tremendously grateful for everything that Mike did as far as his approach to radar detector design and development and sales. Like, yeah, I think he's had a huge impact not only on me, but on the industry as a whole. I mean, like Escort, for example, like I'm gonna grab these detectors here. You know, you had the Escort here, you had the Passport, like he helped to develop these detectors, which actually when Jim Yeager, the guy who helped co-found Cincinnati Microwave, that company is now Escort as we know it. So like, yeah, I mean, Mike V, he's been around since the beginning and he helped create a lot of the stuff, the features, like the way the arrows have been done, a lot of the stuff is very like key to how many different detectors operate today, especially now since a lot of the patents on his original inventions have expired. And so I'm really grateful to him for all of the work that he's done, for everything that he's contributed to our community, to this industry. And the guy was a legend. What can you say, you know? So like, he will definitely be missed. I'm sad to see him go. I'm really glad that he's had a chance to do what he loves. And I mean, I've never, unfortunately, met him personally, but just having a chance to get to talk with him online sometimes, and of course, play around with his detectors and his products and whatnot, I'm immensely grateful for all that he has done. And I'm really sad to see him go. So thanks. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for everything.